To begin this NHL season, the New York Rangers actually weren't playing, that bad of hockey at all. They were actually looking like one of the better NHL teams right at the beginning of this NHL season. They were piling on the points there, getting some wins, looking like a good team there, playing a pretty good overall game there and not getting it worked and out hustled by every team that we're pretty much playing, kind of like we are now, not getting outshot as much. Whereas, now things turn around pretty quickly for the worse, and obviously we're in this spot where we are now, where we're playing some horrible, horrible hockey. It's been like this for a while now, and, the worst part is there's no real sign of it turning around. We did see two moves happen there that were pretty big ones, trading away captain Jacob Trouba over to the Anaheim Ducks, which was pretty much just a cap dump for us. The Ducks get a veteran kind of guy there, defenseman, big tough guy to have back on their blue line, and we got in return a 4th-round pick in this year's draft, as well as Urho Vakanainen, a solid, decent kind of depth defenseman, number 6, number 7 guy at best, really, but a decent depth guy there, a pick to get off that contract. I think that was a good move there, and a really great one, honestly, by Chris Drury. Then we had the Igor Shesterkin contract that did get handed out. The massive historic extension, making him the highest paid goaltender in NHL history, an 8-year deal worth $11.5 million per season. So he gets that deal. The Rangers trade away Trouba there. Those two big moves happen on the exact same day, only a few hours apart. So, that was nice there and all, but we still need to see some kind of a really big move, happen with this team, and not just kind of getting rid of a captain like Jacob Trouba there, which I think is a big move, and signing Igor to a contract. That's great and all, but the big part is we need to add to this team. And Urho Vakanainen, no offense to him, he's not going to solve our issues. He might not even be better than some other defensemen on this team, right? So I think in general, this team obviously is not a true Stanley Cup contender as of right now. This team is not good enough at this moment, but can they make playoffs still? That's what I want to talk about in today's video, because I think as Rangers fans right now, our playoff hopes, I think pretty much every Rangers fan would agree with me when I say this. As of right now, I have no hopes for winning the Cup this season. Absolutely, pretty much zero at this point with where we're at. I mean, something crazy would have to happen there. I mean, we saw the St. Louis Blues back when they won their Cup. Obviously, they had a pretty big kind of wild switch around there, being like the bottom team. I believe it was that like in the January when that. Then they go on to win the Cup later on that season. So there have been crazier things happen before, but personally, with the way this team's built, and the Blues were built the right way as well. They were built like a good, tough, physical, big, veteran kind of team there with a lot of great defensemen, great forwards, a great, hot goaltender at that moment there in Jordan Binnington, who kind of, really made his mark on the NHL at that point as well. So they were built the right way with that physicality, toughness, and just grittiness to work you down, battle you out there, and just get the job done. Whereas the Rangers are not built like that there. So that's also kind of why I don't think we can just kind of will our way to a Cup, because we don't have those kind of guys who are going to fight at every single moment there. They're going to, be so physical and overpowering and tough to really kind of outplay and outpower and just kind of out-hustle the other team there. We don't have that on this New York Rangers team. So I don't think this team is built the right way to win a Cup. And I've said that in the past as well, because with what we've seen, going on our two great playoff runs there with this kind of core group of players here with Igor, the main part has been, going to those two Eastern Conference finals has been Igor Shesterkin himself. He's the main reason why we have gone so far. He's been playing absolutely insane in the playoffs. And yes, I know, I get it. He has obviously not played great and hasn't been that Vezina caliber guy, every single season in the regular season, but so far from what we've seen in the playoffs there, he has consistently been elite. And over the last 3 playoffs, he has been the best goalie in the entire NHL. Without a doubt, it's not even debatable. Over the last 3 playoffs, those seasons there, he has been the best goaltender in the entire NHL. Just in the playoffs alone there, he has been the best, I would say. I think it's by far. And with how he's been playing so far this season, not clearly playing up to his kind of potential and peak that he's, performed at over the last seasons, I think that we can kind of hope that he can turn things around, just because of the fact that, 2 major things in his life are now a little bit past us here. You got that massive contract that he ended up signing there. That would have been weighing on his mind quite heavily, I'm sure, for a while now, for this entire season, because he obviously this offseason kind of said he didn't really want to talk about the contract, mid-season there. Then obviously we hear some pretty big rumors and stuff like that happening. Then this massive contract actually gets done there. So I'm sure that's, a pretty good thing to be off his mind now. But also, a baby as well. He did have a baby with his wife there. So the fact that, the kid's here now, obviously, his wife isn't pregnant, that's kind of past us now. Obviously, the baby is still there and he'll have work to do with that baby. But, just in general there, these are two things that would definitely weigh pretty heavily on your mind. A pregnant wife and a humongous, massive potential contract. Now that those two things are kind of done and clear, that might help him kind of sort things out in his mind there and get back on track because, goalie is a very mental position. I'm not a goalie coach or anything like that, but it is a mental position for the most part there and a little more than other ones. So, having his kid, be bored now, have that contract signed and done, definitely could do wonders for Igor's, kind of confidence and just kind of mindset, getting back on track and all that kind of stuff there. So hopefully that'll be good for him there to help kind of turn things around and help kind of drive us towards the playoffs there because you know what? This team does want to make playoffs. I think Igor's going to have to turn things around pretty quickly here. He's going to have to play a big part there. Jonathan Quick has not been that, A1 kind of backup like we've seen. So hopefully he can obviously kind of get back on track as well in this team in general. I mean, it's not just their faults. They've been facing a insane amount of shots. Every single game pretty much we're getting outshot. We're getting outworked at 5-on-5. Our special teams have not even been that good either. So I think in general, this team has been playing some terrible hockey. There are a lot of factors and reasons kind of for that, not just the goalies, not just the coaching staff, not just Chris Drury, not just the forwards or D-Corps, whatever it is. A lot of factors tie into that there. And unfortunately, I don't really have a lot of hope that we're going to see a massive kind of trade happen where the Rangers are, acquiring a star or a superstar level player, mid-season here. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and I didn't really see Jacob Trouba getting traded mid-season as well, so I've been wrong already this season, but my point is, seeing an actual star caliber guy come our way where we're acquiring a, star caliber guy who's making a lot of money, who's a true kind of top 6 forward or top 4, caliber defenseman. I'm not quite sure we're going to see that at this point. Now, earlier on, I kind of thought it was definitely possible, but with the way things are going, and if things continue on this path, I don't know if Chris Drury is just going to go out there and just, jump out there if we're, 8 points back of a wildcard spot and force some big trade where we're acquiring some star guy and he's giving up a bunch of assets and stuff like that. So I think that definitely will play a big factor on whether or not we make playoffs because I don't see why Chris Drury, as of this moment right now, the GM, would be looking to go out there and really make and push for that massive move to happen because this team has not been playing good at all, and especially if it is a rental, I think that would be a really bad move to go up there and spend a, first or second round pick and or, a high tier prospect or something like that and go out there and acquire a player for us to maybe just squeak into playoffs there and be a first round exit or not even make playoffs. So I don't necessarily think the kind of correct move for this franchise, going forward into the future as well, the right move is to go out there and especially a rental. I mean, if it's a guy with 3-4 years term, that's one thing. But if it is a rental player, I am definitely 100% against going out there at this moment and giving up, some high tier assets, whether it's picks and or prospects. I'm completely against that because I don't think that'd be the right move at all for this team. And there are a lot of factors that'll play into that there, and if this team can turn things around, I definitely think and want to see, a big trade happen. But as the way things are going right now, if things kind of keep at this pace, I definitely don't want to see us go for a rental. Like I said, if it's something else, a guy with term, that's one thing, but a rental, I definitely do not want to see, especially if it is, high-tier assets, then I definitely think that would be a really stupid and bad move for this organization going forward into the future. So, as a whole here, I do think the Rangers still have a chance to make playoffs there. I would say it's a lot closer to 50-50 than I would like to think, but at the end of the day there, I think we're probably going to make playoffs. If I had to bet my money on it, I think we're going to make playoffs, but it might not be, in a kind of top 3 spot in the Metro. It might be a wild card spot, and we definitely need to see some things kind of turn around here for that to happen. I still have hope. I still have faith that it's going to happen. We're going to make playoffs there, but to win a Stanley Cup, I really have none at this point, which is very disappointing to say only about a third of the way through the NHL season. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, definitely hit that like and subscribe button for daily New York Rangers content. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next one, and definitely comment down below your thoughts on the New York Rangers' chances at making playoffs.